Hello everyone, IveGottenSoLucky here. In this video I'm gonna show you in my opinion strongest solo pushing build for Monk in Season 11 called Generator R6COE because we're using 6 pieces of Raymond set and convention of elements. This build designed only for solo pushing. If you are looking for a build for speed farming, you can check my YouTube channel and find a video for this. So first of all here I'm gonna explain you how to make this build, everything you need to know about items, gems, skills, right? And after that I open Greater Rift and show you actual gameplay and give you a few tips because build is very squishy and hard to play. So let's get started and talk about items. As you probably guessed, we're using a set called Arrayment of 1000 Storms, right? Let's see what it does. 2 set bonus. Use spirit generators, have 25% increased attack speed and 100% increased damage. Great, because generator our main damage source, right? 4 set bonus. Dashing strike spends 75 spirit but refunds a charge when it does. Basically means instead of charge we're using spirit when we have spirit, right? And this way this bonus help us with movement, right? We're more mobile, right? And then 6 set bonus. Use spirit generators, increase the weapon damage of dashing strike to 12,500% for 6 seconds, and dashing strike increases the damage of your spirit generators by 1,250% for 6 seconds. Great damage buff, right? And basically means we have to dash every 6 seconds at least to maintain this buff, right? We're using Raymond helm, shoulders, chest armor, gloves, pants and boots. Let's talk about stats you should have on these items, right? Ideal stats for your helm will be dexterity, vitality, critical hit chance in primary, and secondary you would like to have resistance, physical resistance best, then crowd control reduction and socket. It's not actual order in which you should get these stats, right? It's not stat priority, but if you need that information you can check my written guide. I put link in the description right below. So if you don't know what to roll on one of your items, right, this information will be useful for you. Let's move on. And shoulders. Dexterity, vitality, resistance to all elements and area damage in primary, and secondary you would like to get pickup radius. Why? Because when you kill the lead, right, you spawn progression orbs, so you spend less time trying to pick up them, right? And this way you increase your clear time, if you think about that. Chest armor. Dexterity, vitality, elite damage reduction, resistance and damage reduction from ranged or melee attacks, and sockets, right? Gloves, dexterity, attack speed, critical hit damage, critical hit chance and resistance. And then for pants, dexterity, vitality, crippling wave damage, and in secondary you would like to get resistance. I explain why later. And finally for boots we need dexterity, vitality, resistance to all elements and armor. We're also using set called Endless Walk. What it does: while moving, damage taken is reduced by up to 50%, while standing still damage dealt is increased by up to 100%. We're using that mainly because damage buff, but it also helps us with movement, right? So we don't take that much damage because our damage reduction is increased. Ideal stats for you: the Traveler's Pledge will be fire elemental damage, critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and primary and secondary you need resistance, damage reduction and socket. For your the compost rows you need dexterity, attack speed, critical hit damage, critical hit chance in primary, and then secondary resistance and socket. For our bracers we're using spirit guards because of special. Use spirit generators, reduce your damage taken by up to 40% for 3 seconds, so you made one hit, you got damage reduction, you're good to go, right? Ideal stats for bracers: fire elemental damage, dexterity, vitality, critical hit chance and resistance in secondary again, right? When we're using a belt called Witching Hour, right, mainly because this belt always rolls with attack speed and critical hit damage. So ideal stats here will be dexterity or vitality, it doesn't matter. I explain you later why. Then attack speed, critical hit damage, and crippling wave damage. And primary and secondary resistance. When we're using unity, one on our monk, and then in our ring we give follower because of special. Let's see, all damage taken is split between wearers of this item, right? So if you have like one on you know, champion, right, character, and then one on one ring on your follower, you're getting 50% damage reduction, right? Ideal stats: attack speed, critical hit chance, damage against elites, and then resistance and socket, right? For our weapons we're using a set called Shenlong's Spirit, right? Let's see, set bonus: the damage of your spirit generators is increased by 1.5% for each point of spirit you have. When reaching maximum spirit, all damage is increased by 150%, but you no longer passively regenerate spirit, and 65 spirit is drained every second until you run out of spirit, right? I don't know what to say. Great item, great set, right? And ideal stats for one of your fists is like damage, dexterity, attack speed, area damage, and in secondary it's very important to have a maximum spirit. You can get up to 15, right? Because more spirit we have, more damage we deal. And for an hour fist you wanna have stats damage, dexterity, attack speed, life per hit, and again in secondary maximum spirit. And of course on both of your weapons you need socket. That's it, right? Let's talk what we're using in cube. Let me show you. In our cube we're using Flying Dragon, chance to double your attack speed when attacking, then depth diggers, primary skill set, generate resource, deal 100% additional damage, and of course convention of elements, gain 200% increased damage to a single element for 4 seconds, right? So if you found very good convention of elements like this one, you can in theory swap these two, right? Put convention on your monk and then unity in cube. Ideal stats for your convention will be damage, attack speed, critical hit chance, and primary and secondary resistance and socket. I'm using unity because, you know, damage against elite stat. Yeah, but you can swap them. What now? Let's talk about gems. In our helm we're using amethyst because we need additional life. Build is very squishy and we don't need that much cooldown, to be honest. For same reason we're using diamonds in our chest armor and pants, damage reduction of course, and you know, emeralds on both our weapons of course. For legendary gems we're using Bane of the Stricken, when simplicity, strength, increase the damage of primary skills by 83%, hits with primary ability heal you for 4% of your maximum health, right? So this gem give us and damage and recovery because, you know, more life we have, more life per hit we're getting, right, basically. And when we're using Bane of the Trapped, for our skills, let's talk about skills. For our skills we're using Crippling Wave with Rune Mangle. Why this generator? Because Crippling Wave hits everything around us, right, in 11 yards range, right? And why Mangle Rune? Because have highest damage rate, 255%, and also, you know, you slow attack speed and movement with your Crippling Wave, so it's helpful, right? It helps. When we're using Cyclone Strike for you know, to pull mobs in one spot, right? So you hit them with your Crippling Wave, with your generator. Rune Implosion because, you know, for increased range. When we're using Dashing Strike with Rune Blinding Speed for extra 40% dodge chance, right? And you can use Radiance if you don't need that much toughness, right? If you can survive without Blinding Speed. So it's another option here for extra 15% attack speed for 4 seconds. When we're using Breath of Heaven and Fist with Light, why? Because gain 14 additional spirit from spirit generator generating attacks for 5 seconds after using Breath of Heaven. What it means, basically instead of 12 spirit per attack we're getting 26, right? And it helps a lot to fight the buff, Shenlong's buff, right? When we get full spirit bar, we start losing spirit 65 per second, so we use Breath of Heaven to maintain spirit bar full, right? So we deal highest possible damage. When we're using another generator called Way of the 100 Fists with Rune Assimilation, because each enemy hit with the third hit increases your damage by 5% for 5 seconds, right? So we use this one for damage buff. So we make 3 hits and then we fight with Mangle. That's it. And of course Mantra of Salvation with Rune Agility for resistances and dodge chance, right? Most of the time you don't use Mantra, it's like passive, but sometimes you cast it when you need it, right? If you feel like you're about to take big damage, right? And you can cast it. And then for our passive skills we're using Exalted Soul because plus 50%, not percent, plus 50 spirit, right? Maximum spirit, so we deal more damage, and 4 spirit per second, which is helpful because we can cast our, I don't know, Dashing Strike or Cyclone Strike or I don't know, Mantra. Of course it doesn't work when we proc Shenlongs, but still better than nothing. When we're using Sizzler, the Initiative, right? Alacrity for attack speed and Harmony for additional toughness, right? That's why we need everything, you know, in secondary resistance on your helm, amulet, chest armor, gloves, bracers, belt, both of your rings, pants, right? You wanna have resistance there in secondary. So why? Because as you can see here, 40% of your single elemental resistances from items instead increases your resistance to all elements. So it basically means if I have 195 arcane resistance on my helm, 40% of this number goes into our resistances, right? That's great, you know, passive skill for additional toughness. You must use these three no matter what, and then if you need more toughness, right, you can use instead of Exalted Soul a passive called the Guardian's Path, right, for extra dodge chance. And that's it, right? So maybe some of you wondering how I got two generators on my, you know, action bar. To do so, you need to go in Options, Gameplay tab, and check this, right? Elective mode, enable full customization of skill selection and placement on the action bar, right? You do that, and then you can, you know, move your skills around. So let's talk about Paragon. We need movement speed, right? First of all, here 25%. So if you have 12% on your boots, you need get 30%, you know, here, because like you can maximum have plus 25% movement speed from items and Paragon. And then maximum spirit, because more spirit we have, more damage we deal. And then you need put some points into vitality, at least until you get 1 million health, 1 million life, right? And after that all into dexterity, right? So in my case I got plus 2000 additional vitality from Paragon points. For offense tab we need cooldown reduction, attack speed, critical chance, critical damage. Cooldown reduction helps us cast more often Dashing Strike, right? So if we like used all charges, right, we can, you know, apply Raymond buff sooner, right? Instead of like having 2 seconds downtime, we have 1.2, because, you know, 10% cooldown give us 0.8%. I mean, we have 7.2 seconds cooldown instead of 8, right? You know what I mean? So then attack speed, as I said, critical chance, critical damage. Defense, resistance to all elements, life, armor, life regeneration, utility tab, area damage, resource cost reduction, life per hit, gold find. Why resource cost reduction second? Because basically it helps us save some spirit, right? Because every Dashing Strike costs 75 spirit when we have spirit to cast, right? And you know, same for Mantra and Cyclone Strike, these abilities cost spirit, right? So interior, if you have resource cost reduction here, you can save some spirit interior, it increase your damage, right? So you don't spend that much spirit, as I said, and you deal more damage, because more spirit we have, more damage we deal, right? When life per hit, defensive stat, right? You're getting recovery, but if you're not dying at all, you don't need that, right? You should agree with me here. And then for our follower, we're using Enchantress. And let's talk about her items. We're using Smoking Forable, right, because especially follower cannot die. Then Thunder Fury Blessed Blade of the Windseeker, because chance on hit to blast your enemy with lightning, dealing person weapon damage as lightning, and then jumping to additional nearby enemies, right? And each enemy hit has their attack speed and movement speed reduced by 30% for 3 seconds, jump to up 5 targets, right? So damage reduction, right? And then the S of Johann Amulet, chance on hit to pull in enemies toward you target and slow them by 80%, right? So some way another second strike. When Oculus Ring, of course, chance to create an area of focused power on killing monster, damage is increased by 85% up to 85% while standing in the area, right? And then Unity, right? Because you know, for damage reduction, one unity on our character, champion, monk, right? And another unity on our follower. So ideal stats here for every item except you know, Enchantress Focus. I mean, stat priority cooldown, right? So you wanna have like 10 cooldown on your sword, 8 cooldown on your amulet and rings, and then if you found sword with 10 cooldown, you can get 7 attack speed. So when Enchantress hit faster, right, more often, and have a chance to cast, not cast, spawn this chain lightning, right, which give us damage reduction in some way. That's it, right? Because I mean cooldown, because she benefits from cooldown, right? So she can cast her skills more often. Let's talk about her skills. By the way, we don't select here anything. Level 15 skill we skip. Why? Because charms an enemy to fight for you for 8 seconds. Basically, for example, this creature is an enemy, right? It's my pet, but we imagine. So she charmed him, right? And instead of fighting with me, right, he decided to attack, I don't know, Covetous Shen, right? And I need to follow him, right, and fight here, so I'm losing time. So you don't want this happen, right? And you don't select this skill, right? And then you don't select forceful push, because you want to pull mobs in one spot, right? And then she can cast this skill, and as you can see here, summon a arcane explosion 8 yards around an enemy, dealing 410% weapon damage with arcane and knocking back all monsters caught within it, right? So it's like knockback. This is bad, right? I don't need that. So you skip this level 15 skill. When we're using for level 20 skill missile ward, right, for damage reduction, for level 25 skill erosion damage buff, and attack speed focused mind skill for level 30 skill. That's it. That's all you need to know about Enchantress. Let's talk about our version of Generator Monk. So this build, this current build I'm showing you right now, have highest possible damage you can achieve with this build, right, with Generator Monk with, you know, Raymond set. It's very squishy, but as I said, highest damage possible, and build designed for 100 plus jars, right? But if you're pushing lower than that, you don't need that much damage. So instead of Raymond shoulders, you can use this Lefebvre's Celile Qui, right? Why? Because second strike reduces damage taken by up to 50% for 5 seconds, so every time when you cast second strike, you get 50% damage reduction. Ideal stats for these shoulders: dexterity, vitality, life, and area damage and resistance in secondary. And don't forget, if you decide to use this, right, like this, you need put here, instead of conventional elements, a ring of royal grandeur, reduces the number of items needed for set bonuses by 1 to a minimum of 2, right? And then If it's still not enough, you can use instead of the witching hour belt, belt called the string of ears, because of special reduce the damage from melee attacks by 30%. Okay, let's me swap like this. Yeah, ideal stats here: dexterity, vitality, life, crippling wave damage, and resistance and secondary, right? So we can go like this. And that's it, I think. So now what? Now I need to explain how to play this build. So when you enter Rift, right, you're searching for place, for good spot, right, and you need minimum 20 mobs to fight, right? So you, for example, 20 mobs here, right? You dashed there, you used Cyclone Strike, you used Assimilation, right? You applied, you got damage buff for 5 seconds when you dashed again, so you have these two at same time. And when you're fighting, as soon as you kill first enemy, you spawn a circle, Oculus circle with your follower because of Viscering, right? You dash there, for example, it's here. You use Cyclone Strike again, you use Assimilation when you use Dashing Strike, and when you fight with Mangle. You should start fight every time when you have physical rotation, right? Because we're using fire rotation, right? And you know, you get rotation in this order: holy, lightning, physical, cold, fire. So if we start fighting when we have physical rotation, we have enough time to get full spirit bar, proction longs, get assimilation stacks, everything we need, right? Before fire rotation comes, right? And then we deal highest possible damage, right? Right. That's it. Now I open Great Rift and show you actual gameplay. And while I'm running this Rift, right, I can give you a few tips, and you know, maybe they will be helpful for you. So let's open something, I don't know, even for this build designed for 100 plus, it doesn't mean like I can open, I don't know, Great Rift 100 or higher and just close it, even if I have enough damage for that, because you need to get proper map mobs, right? So, but I should be able to close any jar 95 with this damage. So let's open 95 and you know, let's go. Creator, very bad mobs. Map not very good because it's way too big, it takes so much time to travel through, and mobs bad because most of them ranged, right? We're very vulnerable against ranged attacks. I skip here because not that much, right? It's still not enough to start fight. Maybe here, hopefully. Yep. Okay, I wanna kill with some Barret, under it, right? With fire rotation. On before or before that, because damage is way too high. Losing some time, not big deal, right? Map not that good, and mobs too, but I mean, it's okay, it's okay. Best maps for this build, of course, open maps, right? And best mobs is like melee mobs, obviously. And yeah, we talk about this later. Not very good elite because they stun us. Died here, yeah, that's bad. Very high damage. It's okay. I just started, right? Not big deal. So let's talk about mobs and stuff, right? As I said, melee mobs, best mobs, and then we need to understand which elite we can fight, right? Speed pylon, let's take it. We can't fight elite with Vortex, right? Nightmarish, Frozen, and Arcane Enchanted abilities. It's like in this order, right? So Vortex worse because sometimes you wanna run away from them, right? They pull you back, or they pull you in like Arcane Beam, so you like die, right? And Nightmarish, same reason. Very dangerous elite, right, to fight. Frozen not that scary, just kinda annoying because you need to dodge a lot, right? Again, these mobs. Okay, let's try. I'm losing some time, but I should be okay. Yeah, so and then Arcane Enchanted, right? So Frozen Explosion and Arcane Beams you can see, right? And Vortex, no matter what you're doing, you can't dodge that, right? You just like can die any moment, right? As I said, if you're not careful. So usually if you engage something like this, you just skip. Where is Laconia? Yeah, so like you're looking for open map with melee mobs, as I said, right? And doesn't matter which mobs you get, right? Most dangerous for us is like mobs which naturally have like knockback ability, right? Like, I don't know, kill elite here. Losing time, but because, you know, mobs like very bad. I'm not gonna lie here. I'm like able to survive and make progression only because it's 95, right? If it was like real attempt to close, right, real push, I would have just leave instantly because no way you can do anything with them. And now this elite. So I run until I see something good, maybe here. It's very dangerous still, but at least it's a lot here. So high risk, high reward, right? And losing time, but I have good feeling. Next war will be perfect, you'll see. Now losing Flying Dragon. It's very important how lucky you are on Flying Dragon, right? Sometimes you find very good map with very good elite, right? Mobs, everything you need, right? But you engage way too much, right? Like way too many mobs, and you can't tank very damage because no Flying Dragon, right? You don't hit that fast and your recovery not that high. So you just die. Okay, made progression here finally. I was worried for a second. I mean, after this death and like, you know, these mobs, as I said, they give good progression, but man, way dangerous. Okay, let's go, let's go. Okay, we skip that obviously, because not because like Arcane Enchanted, but because not enough fight around. Shield pylon, very good pylon. When you take shield, you would like to find melee yellow, right? Elite, so something like I don't know. Skeleton, right? Which like attack you and not running away, so you just focus him while you have shield, right? Damage immune. So it's not very good pylon here, I mean, because I can find elite to fight. What else to say? Alright, so build basically focusing on searching white mobs, right? If you find elite without, as I said, Vortex, Nightmarish, Frozen, Arcane Enchanted abilities, you can fight them if you have enough white mobs around, right? You engage them, right? You fight them until you kill whites. When whites died, right? You moving, right? You start moving and you hope they follow you. It's very dangerous here. I need to go, and I hope this of course will follow me, but this Goatman will stay behind. Physical rotation, next fire. It's not enough here, obviously, but I wanna use something. Actually, no, let's go. I didn't have spirit there, so no point to stay. Of course, stacked. I try to pull them. The mind they still here. That's good. Vortex ability on it on Goatman. I need to go. I will die there. What is frozen pool? Wow. Almost died there. It's a lot of damage. Okay, I need to focus here. It's very hard, trust me. Only reason I'm playing this build because, you know, some challenge. Not some challenge, it takes a lot of time to master this build. 3 leads at once, never do that when you're pushing. I mean, unless it's like something really good. I managed to kill a course, right? Why it doesn't show? Alright. Let's kill this wood spectre. Lightning rotation when physical, when cold, when fire. It's nothing here. One of them full health, what? Or it's illusionist? An illusion. Oh, no, it's not real one, right? It can be. Or it's real one. It's real one, wow. I was confused. So let's move on at the end here. Nice map knowledge. Nobody saw that. Okay, so forgot to mention, build is very squishy as I said earlier. It means we literally can die from white mobs, right, if we're not careful. We can tank a charge of a Savage Beast, right, big hits from, I don't know, Dark Berserker, which just one-shot you. So yeah, unless you're using shoulders and belt, right. Frozen goatmans, right, ranged mobs, you never fight with, we're just running around, right, you'll be able to kill them. I just go cave. Oh, okay, map's not very good. Cultist, let's go this way. Okay, nobody saw that too. If you saw, don't tell nobody. I'm stuck here for a second. I still have conduit, right? I mean, I just need enemies, right, to fight. I don't need conduit. I mean, would be nice to find one, but not required for this level with this damage. Vortex, frozen, very dangerous combination, like most dangerous, right? You're just trying to skip elite, right? And when they pull you back into frozen explosions, so we're very vulnerable to crowd control stuff. Can't stay there, I'm gonna die, so I gotta go, right? I skipped a lot, but it's like you have no choice, right? If you stay there, you will die, most likely, and you will lose even more time when you're just skipping them, right? So let's fight here a few white mobs, right? Elite. I'm not trying to kill elite because again, ranged goatmans, right? Not goatmans, blood clan impaler, I think they called. I wanna kill unburied and then I go. I'm making some mistakes, right? I explain you what exactly you need to do, but I'm, you know, I'm trying to record this video and okay, can't do it. Let's go here. Used potion way too early because I stuck there. Let's take pylon and kill elite with it. Halls of Agony. Can I kill these archers before? I mean, if I can do it, I think I can. Should be able to do that. Oh, way low. I need to... okay. Again, frozen and vortex. Okay, got them. 98. This is enough here. Let's just kill few and spawn Rift Guardian. Who is this? Okay, Rift Guardian was easiest part because you need just use, you know, dashing strike for buff, right, for attack speed or dodge chance when you need to use mantra, so Rift Guardian won't one-shot you. And this one is good because he spawns minions, right, so we have chance get a good Oculus Circle in Syria. Okay, this Arcane Blast kinda bad, let's move on a bit. I see like this one. And that's it. So, as you saw, right, it was kinda easy for me, but I still died once. I don't remember how I died there, but... Alright, I died in Crater because I engaged these blue pack, right, punishers. They jump on top of you and stun you, and it was like very bad mob type, like a lot of ranged mobs, right, goatmans, impalers, shamans, right. It happens, so that's it, right? That's probably all you need to know about this build. If you have more questions, leave them, you know, in comments, and I hope I try to answer them. And I really hope you find this guide useful, right? You learned something, because I enjoy this build. It will be top, you know, in my opinion, best build for solo pushing in season 11, right? So, as I said, I hope you find this guide useful. If so, feel free to like video, right? And I see you next time, right?